going on, everyone? It's Aaron from AMFIT Coaching, and today we're going to be going over how to properly do the lunge stretch so that way you can effectively stretch your hip flexors. So if you're someone that's sitting down most of the day and you stand up and your hips are kind of tight in the front, or you have some low back tightness, then this stretch is for you and you're going to want to watch the whole video. So let's get into step one of doing the stretch. The first thing we need to do is get into a lunge position on the floor. So this is what that looks like. We're gonna be on the floor and we wanna focus on being 90 degrees at both of our knees. So the one at the top is 90 and the same as the one on the bottom. So before we get into step two, let's go over how we're not going to do the stretch so that way you can kind of know what to look out for. So if we were doing it incorrectly, we would be more in a exaggerated lunge. As you can see, we're no longer at 90 degrees everywhere. We're in this very forwards position. That's not what we want to be in. What we do want to do going into step two is know how to orient our pelvis. What we want is to be in a posterior pelvic tilt, as you can see, while we're doing the stretch. So you may be asking, how do you do a posterior pelvic tilt and what does that mean? So a posterior pelvic tilt is just another way to say tuck your butt under, as you can see here. And the way we're going to do this, it may sound a little strange, but it's the easiest way to explain how to actually do this. So imagine if you were a monkey and you have a tail, and with your tail, you want to put it in between your legs. The only way to do that is if you tuck your butt under or squeeze your butt and bring the pelvis down. So imagine you have a tail and you're trying to bring it in between your legs. And that motion is a posterior pelvic tilt. And that's how we want to be when we're doing our lunge stretch. Okay, so now that we know how to do a posterior pelvic tilt, we can put it all together. So our final version, we are in a lunge position on the floor. Both legs have a 90-degree angle. And then we go into a posterior pelvic tilt, or tucking the butt under. And doing this, it's going to help lengthen our hip flexors a little further while we're doing the stretch. So you're going to get a little more out of it this way, and it's going to be a lot easier on your hips doing it this way. So as a little bonus as well, if you want to intensify the stretch a little bit more, what you can do is you can actually contract or squeeze the glute of the side that you're stretching. So if you're stretching the right side, the right knees on the floor, you can actually squeeze the right glute while you're doing the stretch to get a little bit more of a stretch. So if you're not feeling it that much, then try squeezing the butt together and you may get a little more out of it. So that's it. That is how you properly do the lunge stretch so you can effectively stretch your hip flexors. So if you liked this video, make sure you give it a like, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below if you're doing this stretch or you have done this stretch, or if it's something new and that you want to try out. And before you leave, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Means a lot. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.